Let me just start off by saying that while I enjoyed the third episode of American Horror Story Apocalypse Forbidden Fruit, it has some red flags going up for me that I'm going to get to at the end. But let me dive into some of the highlights and a couple of the question marks that I have. First, Mallory Langdon standoff. I didn't see that coming. I thought that was a great way to start off the episode, a very strong note. As you can tell from social media, apparently a lot of people became big Mallory fans in a very quick period of time. And I think this is established now that as much as Michael Langdon, the Antichrist, may think he has things under control, there are definitely factions in play that are going to, let's say, I don't know, have issue with what his long-term new life, new sanctuary setup is going to be. And I just thought that pushback, very reminiscent of Star Wars from the Kylo Ren Rey. Yeah, I'm wearing my geek flag right now. I'm going to go with it. But I really like that pushback, and it established a yin and a yang as to where the season's going to be going right in the beginning of the episode, and I think that was a good start, because last review I'd said they need to start moving forward, beginning with the third episode and some of the main meat of the storyline, so I love that. Langdon's reference to hunting witches had me concerned, majorly, and from the very beginning I was concerned that what we were going to be seeing of our Coven witches were going to be flashbacks. I'm very glad by the end of the episode that wasn't the case, but I think that also helped establish where the back and forth is going to be taking place between Michael Langdon and Cordelia Good and her witches. And we even saw in the very beginning that there was a conversation between Michael Langdon and Dinah Stevens where it's established that he knows what she knows what he is, but there's almost this assured neither one wants mutual destruction. So there's an understanding. Of course, then the Mallory issue comes into play, and that just kind of blows it all open. I like the idea of him showing what he's got, and she's just so readily able to push back. Coco Brock, love me Leslie Grossman, love me Billy Eichner, love the stuff that they do, and I love their characters. The Coco Brock storyline in this episode, thought it was a little unnecessary. It felt like Ryan Murphy was giving Buddy Billy Eichner an opportunity to go the Mad Max route and play post-apocalyptic. But I'll be honest, Billy Eichner kind of reminded me of Jerry from Rick and Morty when he's in the post-Cronenberg catastrophe world. That's the only thing I took out of it. I hope there's more to it, but yeah, it seemed a little forced. The idea of Kathy Bates' Mead being a robot imprinted with other memories when she is secretly Constant Langdon, and I'm going to say it, we're implying that she's Constance Langdon. I'm going to go with that. Was just very mind-trippy, and the emotional connection that Michael Langdon has to Mead, the robot with the memories, and what she represents to him, I thought was very important, and also a sign of a very big potential weakness, because as much as he will do the rituals to essentially, I guess, supernatural version of borrowing the car from Dad, we see that he does have the emotion and the human aspect when it comes to Constance, and I believe that's where we're going to be getting Jessica Lange's appearances. I think we're going to see some of the lead-in as to how Jessica Lange became Kathy Bates. Again, I'm very much looking forward to that aspect. The killing at the Outpost, great. I liked that it was tied into Halloween, everything else. I think we lost some very interesting characters, and I'm hoping this is only temporarily that we lost some of them. Some of them we know it's temporarily by the end of the episode. But, for example, like Emily and Tim. I know they were the obvious Adam and Eve of all of this, and they want to go with the symbolism of them being killed, and we can get into the whole Apple laptop and all that stuff, which I did think was a nice touch. But I'd like to see more of these characters come into play because I think there's potential. I hope this wasn't just a shock value type of thing and we just kind of move on from there. Lastly, of course, the one thing we've been waiting for months, and specifically the last two episodes, is that we've got Cordelia, we've got Madison, and we've got Myrtle, Coven Witches returning to kind of state their case as to why that maybe the apocalypse doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all of everything. And the resurrection move that they do, I think, is very exciting. Two important things that I took out of that. Clearly, Mallory is known to them well before whatever took place at the Outpost. So that's going to be very interesting. And that Mallory seems to be oozing supreme material. Second thing, Madison and Coco. Emma Roberts, Leslie Grossman. How are we not going to be excited for the long-term dialogue that's going to be coming from them? I know I am. It's just the nasty, vicious back and forth. I mean, the censors alone are just going to have to get their thumbs on the button working pretty strong. So again, a lot of highlights from the episode, a lot of great things that I took from it, some question marks and some things I wasn't too sure about. But overall, I have to say this, and why I said in the beginning I'm concerned. I just don't want this to be a season where there's a lot of loose time in the beginning, and then we're forced to kind of like streamline and shoehorn in everything at the end to try and make it fit. I feel like there have been a couple of seasons of American Horror Story that have suffered from that. I don't want this to be this one. And this was an episode that I thought, in all honesty, had a lot of great visuals to it, but from the meat content, I thought it was a little lacking 3 episodes in. Great start, and I may be going back and revisiting this episode to see how it plays out. For this time, decent episode, solid 3rd episode. I'm hoping it's a resetter, and I'm looking forward to see what we get from episodes 4 straight through to the end of the season.